How about being trying to be live again? Losers outside in the same stupid truck. I mean, why you come over? That's the only reason why you come over here. I know he's out there. There's something about in these houses they know where I can just be moving around. They know I'm moving around because of those monitoring meters that they have in everyone's house. They claim they record things that are going on in your electric, but they know where you are in your home. Those type of meters. Yeah, they can detect wherever you are. That's why when the police come, they know where you are at the doors and everything. So they should know when they come to your house where you are and all of that. So this person here pulls in and out of the lot all the time just to do that. If I spend the night, they'll know to crank the car up. When I wake up and move around, he's already ready. So that's how disturbed these people are, trying to, very disturbing, very creepy. Man, it's just awesomely ugly, just detestful self-hatred, this virus that they live with. It's just mucus, okay? But we're not gonna let it nuke us anymore. So we're alive and we are living and doing things that the living do. There was a book called A Catcher in the Rye, so it's about a young person struggling in the society where things are going on, okay? Youthful things. And Catcher in the Rye, basically, what I'm using it with. And that's just the way it is. And I'm not hating or using a certain individual's culture, but get right to it. You have Irish potato, the white potato, which is not original in that country. You got Jewish rye, which doesn't say it's native to that place. Why do they get these names? Because they decide that belongs to them. Okay, so what also belongs to them is the truth of not being in certain situations at certain times when catastrophic things happen that seem not to be there. I mentioned those things at Tower building and during the slavery and all of that. But see, David Duke is very relevant right now during this time with the thing that happened in Charlottesville, with that clash of the people, so-called races and all that. And David Duke is the person that said, wrote the book and showed who were the actual slavers in this country, the largest percent of the people who were the slavers in this country, and they were the Jewish people. And he wrote that book and he took it to a black radio station, one of the largest black syndicated radio stations, and shocked the world with that information. And he used that categorically to put them at bay in what they were doing to so-called white Europeans in this country. So in the media just recently, we saw them saying that there was someone in the crowd that's a special agent who was filming the things in Charlottesville where people got killed and helicopter crash as well. Well, you see what they filmed? They were filming white people talking about Jewish people, hating Jews and all of that. Not one time did they show them saying they're hating blacks. But blacks are the people who have suffered the most with racist people, okay? With jobs, being killed, going in churches, killing people, being called names and all of that at the highest level on a regular basis every day in our lives, medically, financially, physically, emotionally, all of that. We know that. See, but they'll talk about how hatred of white racists are against blacks, but as soon as they want to show the hatred of the human experience, they'll say, I don't want my son marrying a Jewish person. How can a Jewish person sell his children off and all of that. Very interesting how that is set up. Okay, the woe is me conspiral situation. And that's how has been conspiring all throughout our culture all this time. And that is a right now moment that we had to show. And it's very disturbing in the fact that they're continuously doing this over and over again, irresponsibly putting blacks and whites in the line of fire, but then showing them speaking against Jewish people. How many whites, racists, have gone into Jewish synagogues and shot up a church or called, anything like that? But we know just recently, they won't even let the dude play football right now. Donald Sterling said we're not from Africa. All through the sports, all in the everyday living, with the lending practices, the president lining up with white racists in his Oval Office. How did he get the job? He had a show with the media, and who owns the media? We know who owns the media. They tell us all of that. You're fired, that show, and all of that. So this is a ongoing situation that is conspiral over and over again. I'm not fooled by it, and right now, people in Little Rock, Arkansas, they're turning up what they're doing to try to mimic that and to disturb my peace, which is crazy. You're not going to do that. And having people do more and more and more things to drive around me and act crazy and all kinds of things. Those fearful things from other self-hating blacks. Okay? So these are things that we have to allow ourselves to see and to know the truth of. These are right now moments. And they showed us that right now during that time. And they're continuously showing us that. So these are the changes that we need to pay attention to and ask them and tell them, you all have to stop that. You all have to stop that and stop conspiring this virus that you all are playing with our lives with, as if it's just a fucking joke. And they make jokes of it all the time. Commercials, has fun with it, all of that. So as beautiful as this world is, as wonderful as this world is, and as omnipotent as the energy of the world, the pressure they're putting on us, the more pressure they're putting on me, the more beautiful I'm becoming. You see the energy and the information I'm able to share, the things I'm able to see more of based on what they're trying to do, only because they know the truth of it. And on with that push to try to flood the information as if someone else is doing that. And no one else is doing that but them. Because they have their hand on the lever to make things happen either way. The laws, all of that. The pedophiles, the child rapists, the sex traffickers, those are the things that I speak of. And so the attacks are coming based on that. So my attachment to the divine gives me the balance of power in those situations every time. Okay? So I have to live with that. I have to deal with that in a very beautiful way. And so, and again, I met a young man, not met, but young man was brother from the same neighborhood I am, was on the bus the other day. I was surprised he was on the bus. But there was a message from the divine. Brother, I want to speak with you too. And because, man, it was beautiful. I mean, it's blowing up. I mean, I'm just sewing it together right now. That was a beautiful implosion to see you. So I'm going to get a message to you to speak with you so we can get together and talk about something and to make something happen for myself, number one. Because I have to look out for myself and to do that because, as I'm saying, the people are doing more and more self-hating things, showing up in more and more places, and all of these things. So with that pressure, I have to build one of the greatest of life finders anywhere I am, and move one light source to another, in and out of this darkness, this pressurized situations that I'm going through. So that's what's going on. That's really what this thing I wanted to use and to say. Something else I wanted to say is slipping past me for some reason or another. But it's a very powerful message that I'm seeing what's going on. These people are really just not trying to change who they are and what they are. And but you can, and you will have to. You are changing because the more pressure you're trying to put on is showing more the categorical lies that are being told. And just as the followers are can be easily reduced with this all the cars you drive around in, the expensive trucks and mopeds especially, because the mopeds and motorcycle rides, because you can't really see license plates or anything, so that's how they get away with that. But you can see them, they have a helmet on, so they think they're hidden. And one young man yesterday did a very dangerous drive past me and my father last night on the 12th Street here, down the bike lane. He just, man, really drove fast and crazy. I told my dad, I said, see, this is what they do, man. They are really, and another man crossed the street in front of us slowly. You know, and my dad said, you know, we know they know that we're not going to run over them. That's why I said no, because they're paying them to do it. And they've given these dope fiends, drug addicts, sugar, emotionally dysfunctional, spoiled people the right to behave this way. So now in Little Rock, Arkansas, they have a mental health crisis center they're trying to start for people who are so mentally messed up. You can go to this. Well, the corruption has set that up by allowing them to do that, about having so many people who are mentally dysfunctional to follow and to get paid and to be praised for their mental dysfunction. So now you've this is the atmosphere that you've created. You see? That you have to have a crisis center. And it is a crisis. And I was always saying that, why are you using these mentally dysfunctional people to do all these things? So that shows their mental dysfunction coming from that, because one hand feeds the other. And that's how that goes. And that's what happens to a society that allows itself to be taken in such a way. Okay? So take yourself out of that. And all of that. So don't be derailed by it. You know, first railroad was found in Pine Bluff. Remember, was introduced in Pine Bluff by a black person. And the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman. And now they have a train they have go underground from New York to London in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know, right now they have it, doing it. You know, spend millions of dollars to do it. Dick Gregory talked about it, and I showed it with the news with a video. There it is. So the hidden factor, the movement of certain things is going on. And again, don't be derailed by it. Don't be shocked because I'm not, or stunned by it because I'm not attacking anyone. I'm attaching to the divine based on all the things that they're doing so powerfully. And they're not ignorant of anything that's going on. They know exactly what it is they're doing, why they're doing it, and the fears that they have shouldn't have to be, and the hatred they have of the black person is totally evident in all walks of life. The changing of laws, insensitivity to the suffering, to the plight of blacks is just enough for us to feel beautiful that we have these answers. And again, it doesn't take much to reduce that to something.